Okay, so I have the signature thread in the top, but I still have my Omni Text 30 in the bobbin. And I noticed, like, when I was pulling the thread down to thread the needle on the signature, that it was tighter. So I loosened my intermittent tension by half a turn. And this batting that I'm using is really just flannel, so it's really thin under here. Oh, and it doesn't go all the way. I forgot. It only goes so far. I better put a pin there to show where it ends. I have to put more batting under there. So I'm just going to see how it sews. Oh, and I'm using the same color as the fabric. I should have got the silver one. So, yeah, it's funny. It feels loose. Maybe I'll go a half a turn tighter like I was originally. It just feels looser, but you know, there could be a lot of, let me feel. Yeah, and I feel railroad tracks on the bottom. So I went tighter again. One thing I learned with my embroidery, you know, trying to quilt in the hoop with cotton and polyester, I liked using cotton on top because it doesn't stretch, and poly on the bottom because it does stretch. So that stretchy poly on the bottom will get pulled up, whereas this cotton that's not stretchy won't get pulled down. But like I said, I felt railroad tracks, so I went back to the same top tension that I use normally with the poly on top. But let's see, I'm probably still going to have railroad tracks, so let's see. That's interesting that when I pulled the thread, it felt tight, but when I'm stitching, it's loose. So let's just see. Okay, so that one's tighter. Is that a railroad track? No, I don't feel the railroad tracks. Let's see if I can. Yeah, boy, that does feel so tight when I pull my thread down. That's interesting. Maybe it just has a rougher feel. I don't know, because it's cotton, you know. It's supposed to be, the signature I thought was either like 40 weight or text 30 or something like that. Or maybe it was text, I don't remember. But I'm going to go under there. Yeah, I don't know if you'll be able to see the stitching. There's the one I just did. So I don't see any railroad tracks. And like I said, you know, I'm using flannel as a batting. So I guess it's okay. I have to learn what settings to use as well with the signature because I'm making a linen quilt for my daughter who is just diagnosed with breast cancer. So I'm making her linen, whole cloth linen on top, linen on the bottom, and I'm going to use, you know, signature cotton thread on the top and the bottom. I'm just starting to learn about all that, and I don't know if it's totally true, but it's worth a shot, you know, when your baby's got cancer, your precious ones, or anyone. The difference, I completely forgot to put it on. Okay, so let's try this by the Dream Company. Okay, that looks really good. I mean, I can see dots of the gray. There's no railroad tracks on the bottom. I'll try and hold it still. So I guess it's okay. And you know, I only see like dots. There's no railroad tracks up here. So, and they're completely two different colors. So, I think we're okay. Okay. I always overshoot. Oh, let's zoom in. So it looks pretty good. So yeah, I'm not sure then about why a machine would tangle, you know, up in by the take-up lever, except for the fact that maybe your tension is off. I know my bobbin is set at 200 millinewtons on the toe gauge, and now my top is the same as it as always is. It's kind of flush. Mine kind of like, I don't know if you can see it, that screw is in a little bit, you know. I mean, that screw is flush with the part that dips in. Yeah, it's hard, it keeps unfocusing. Maybe if I zoom out. But that's just my machine. I'm sure every machine is set differently, and I'm sure there's a way to set it. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I don't know. But that's normally how I have it set. But then, of course, that is just because, you know, you set the bobbin tension first. This is that extra thread guide that I have that I saw on the girl who was getting tangled didn't have this thread guide. She had this one, and she also didn't have this guard for the take-up lever. I don't know if that matters. That's probably just so no one gets hurt. But this might be important to have. You know, especially since cotton is not slippery, maybe you need a thread guide. But I noticed she doesn't even have a hole drilled here. So that makes me think that her machine is maybe older, and this is a Vision 2 from 2016. So, and my check spring is set, you know, really snappy. I reset it. You know, it's got a good snap. Well, you're not going to see it now, but, well, you might be able to. You know, and it's at the proper, I don't know if you can see that either. Can see it, it's like 10:30, 11 o'clock or something, 10 o'clock. I noticed that sometimes if I mess with this, like if I open it and I look to see if the thread's there, if I pull this one forward, the thread goes back here. So check that to make sure your thread is here, but only pull this one to look. So, all right, I hope I've helped you. Take care. Bye.